Greetings, everyone. Salutations from Miss Veronica Mirembe Benedictio. Welcome to the Speak the Truth in Love ministry. And this is our 14th video, our 14th edition. By the grace of God, I thank God the cough has gone and the Lord is using me to record these videos. So in this video, I want to share something. It's an excerpt from one of my books, my latest books called Sweet 38 Years and a Proud Butabika Case. Yes, first of all, I'll first explain, the title to my video is You Are Not Defined by Labels, but by Grace. You are not defined by labels, but by grace. So this is a book I have authored. It is among my latest books. I gave it a title, Sweet 38 Years and a Proud Butabika Case. I wrote this book out of lots of pain and tears to give hope to someone out there battling mental illness. I'll first of all explain what Butabika Case means, because in regard to my international audience, we may not understand what the word Butabika means. Butabika is a national referral hospital in Uganda that basically handles people that basically gives mental health support to people who battle mental illnesses. It is an institution in Uganda where people go for mental health support, and it is a place that is stigmatized. It is a place that has been given a label that anyone who hears anyone going to Butabika, the world will laugh at you. So it is just a brief introduction of the book. I gave Sweet 38 Years and a Proud Butabika Case. So Butabika Case is a label. In fact, it is a label here in Uganda given to people who run mad, people who are called lunatics. Ensa abantu bayita bazolo babayita Butabika Case. So it's like, I call it a label people use to make people feel low. I'll give examples. For example, we can be watching Ugandan comedy. Someone will make a comment about Butabika Case. It literally connotes to someone who has chopped wires, someone who is mad, omuntu omulalu. So that is a brief explanation to the international audience about what Butabika Case is. Sweet 38 years, that is so well explained. I'm 38 years by God's grace. I'm very proud to share my age because I'm one person who knows. The world makes us think you are 38, you have no children, you're not married. And at the end of the day, personally, my happiness or definition of success is not in having children, is not in being married, is not in having a car, is not in having a lot of money, is not in the things of the world, but it is being in the divine will of God. It is walking in purpose, and it is doing what God has called me to do at a certain time. Because I can say people have it all, but personally, to me, success is walking in purpose. It is the divine will of God. Success is that strength of character that is unshaken. Success is an honest heart, a truthful heart, a heart that loves and helps people. To me, that is what success is, because we live in a world where everyone has a definition of success, of fame, of happiness. And personally, I do not want to define my success, or I don't want to give my definition of success to what the world calls success. Because at times we see people have it all, but they are very stressed, they are very disturbed, they are very jealous. So at the end of the day, I kept telling people, let everyone remain in that lane for the definition of success, because success connotes something different to everyone. To one person, success may be marriage. To one person, success may be children. To one person, success may be owning the latest car. To one person, success may be having an 8-to-5 job. But we are all different. So it is why I'm very free to share my age, 38 years, and the world will laugh at you, but it is okay, because to me, I prefer remaining in my own lane. Yeah, so let's dive straight in the book. Let's dive straight in our lesson, or in the title of the book. You are not defined by labels, but you are defined by grace. Yes, we live in a world where the world has given people labels. Like NCA in ebintu bi, I don't know how to say it in Luganda, but olusi ense tutekako ebintu, you know. At times the world has given us labels or tags, and these things steal our peace of mind. Ne bitumalako emirembe, kati ng'ekyo kye ngamba butabika case. In fact, in Luganda, that's what they call a label. You know, people have different labels. Someone may have a label of widowed, namwandu, semwandu. Someone may have a label of barrenness, mugumba, you know. Someone may have a label of wavu, munaku, they are poor. Someone may have a label of overweight, ensine kuite busy because you are overweight. Someone may have a label of divorced, Someone may have a label of sickness. You have, for example, the thing I have had, you have been given a tag, bipolar, you know. Someone may have a label of HIV. Someone may have a label of cancer, a label of hypertension, a label of diabetes. Like, everyone has a label in this world, you know. Like, each of us has labels, financially constrained, stressed, everyone. Like, there are those labels, you know, butabika case. And at times there are these labels the world has given us that steal our inner peace, you know. Like, there are different labels. You're not yet married. You are a loser. You don't have children. You are, like, there are labels the world has given us that make us lose our inner peace, that make us lose happiness, that make us lose, you know, oli munaku, oli mwavu, oli musiru, like, you're stupid, everyone has a label, you know, you have big teeth, you have a big nose, you have, I don't know, there are so many labels in the world, you know, and at the end of the day, I'm here to encourage someone this morning. You are not defined by a label, but you are defined by grace. When we get to know, at times we have allowed these labels become very loud. We have allowed, like our sharing, we have allowed to listen to the loudest voices and not the truest voices. It is why I tell people, whenever you listen to the loudest voice, you're not going to have peace of mind. Because the loudest voice will always show you what is bad about yourself. Ngawe ngamba abantu ensi etunulira bintu bibi biri ku bantu. It is why you will find a very beautiful girl but with small legs. They will always tell her how she has small legs. Tebajja kutunulira bulungi bwe ne batunulira bugulu bubi. You will find a very beautiful girl who is fat, who is big, batunulira bunene tebatunulira bulungi bwe. So we live in a world at times where people are concentrating on our mistakes, and that is the world. People concentrate on our ensite eyagala birungi, eyagala biyise, eyagala byononese, nolaba akaana akawala akalungi, wakiri bajja kavuma amannyo ine ebinnyo, you know, because at the end of the day we live in a world that concentrates on the bad side of people. Omanyi omukyalo oyo mulungi nnyo naye agwa eddalu. Naye nga tebajja kwogera ku bulungi bo. So we live in a world where people concentrate on the bad things about us than the good things, you know. And it is why I'm telling people, you are not defined by a label, but you are defined by grace. Buli omu aina kyayitamu, as I tell people. We all have that secret pain and secret suffering we go through, and it is the reason you should not allow to be defined by labels, but by grace. You know? Tulina okumanya abantu mu nsi babeera ku balala naye nga nabo balina ebizibu byabwe. We live in a world where the world concentrates on people's shame and pain and struggle, but people also have their things the world does not know about. And it is why I have come with an excerpt from this book to give hope to a life, most especially to people who are mentally challenged or who have been given that label of a lunatic or mulalu. Ngense kuyita omulalu. You know, because we live in a world, there's something I tell people. We tumanya nti buli omu alina ebizibu bye. Toyina kubeera ku bulamu bwa muntu mwenna. You know, when we live in a world nga you know you are not perfect, quit being the source of someone's unhappiness or the source of someone's gossip. Wetumanya nti mu nsi buli omu alina kyayitamu. Lekeraawo okubeera nga gwe atambuza olugambo ku bantu. Naawe olina by'oyitamu ensi by'etamanyi by'esobola okwogerako. You know, it is why I'm recording these videos, to give someone hope who has battled mental illness out of my book, Sweet 38 Years and a Proud Butabika Case. You know, oluusi tubeera mu nsi muno ensi n'etumalamu amaanyi naye ng'abantu balina ebizibu byabwe buli omu alina ebizibu bye n'abeera ku by'omulala naye nga buli ate nga yabikusinza okyakyengulaga. So it is why I'm giving hope to someone out there. Tubeera mu nsi abantu ne batumalako emirembe ensi n'eyogera naye nga ebibye bye bikusinga alina ebizibu biyitirivu tolina nawe obimalawo naye n'abeera ku ggwe. You know, it is why I'm telling people, when we get to know you are not, when you get to know you are not perfect, stop being the source of someone's unhappiness or stealing their peace when you know you are not also perfect. Lekeraawo okubeera obuzibu ku mulala nga naawe omanye ebyo tebituukiridde kuba naye bajja bikugamba bikuggyeko waya. You know, no, there's something I tell people. When we get to know that in this journey of life, none of us is perfect. Like I like using my personal life. Where the world has called you abutabika case. But people are going through wavu. They are very poor. They live very, very, you know. And when you call them poor, they'll get annoyed. You know, nenga for them they know they have the audacity of okuita omwavu. It is why I tell people, nze wenkuita omunaku nga kikunyiiza, gwacho wompita omulalu. You know, me when I call you poor, why do you get angry? And you have all the audacity to call me mad. You know, it is why I tell people, if you know you are not perfect, stop being the source of someone's unhappiness through gossip. No, we live in a world that delights in people's shame. No, there's something I tell people. If you know you are not the perfect person, stop abuse. Because now when jakulangirira obumpi, now when jakulangirira ekintu ekibe ekikuliko kikunyiize naye nga nange ompita mulalu. You know? So it is why I tell people, if you know you are not perfect, stop being someone's source of unhappiness when you are not perfect. You know? Stop. I tell children in school, stop abusing people how they have teeth when you know you also have a big nose. Because they'll also abuse your big nose and you also tell me how I have big teeth. It is why I'm telling people, stop being the source of people's unhappiness when you also have your issues, when you are not perfect. You know? And in this book, in this excerpt I'm sharing, at the end of the day, we have to know you are not defined by a label. You are not defined by people's words because God has the final say. Jehovah has the final say. This world may talk, but God has the final say. Nina ekintu kye ngamba abantu ensi eno ne weekumalako emirembe out of life experience naye ng'olina Katonda nga you are true to your God. You are true to your God. You're walking in truth. You're walking in righteousness and holiness, not perfection. I'm telling you, God has the final say and he will fight your battles and silence your enemies. You know? No, at times we live in a world where the world keeps us low, But I'm telling you, when we get to know that the Bible says the battle belongs to God, stand strong and know God is in heaven watching. He at times allows this world to ridicule, to make you gossip, to slander you, and then next it shut up on your behalf. You know? It is the reason we should not be shaken by people's words. We should not be shaken by people's opinions because God can make this world shut up on your behalf. No, I can testify personally. Having battled mental illness over 20 years, I move in places. People find me who call me abutabika case, who call me a pig because the medication had made me big. And they find me and they put their heads down. You know? Never take a omanyi. The Bible says, omulabewo anadduka nga tewali amugoba. You know? No, I live in an area that has stigmatized me all my life. Omanyi ngensi yonna ekuyisaamu emwantu oli mulalu. Naye nva mu nnyumba buli omu abadduka. Because I have seen God bring it to pass that your enemies will run when no one is chasing them. Abalayo bajja kudduka nga tewali abagoba. Because they are looking at the glory on your life. Abadde akuyita omulalu. Akulaba engeri gy'ofaananamu aswala buswazi. You know? And it is why I'm encouraging someone this morning. At times, God allows this world to talk. He allows this world, but he will silence it on your behalf. As long as you continue loving people, you continue praying for people, do not give room for hatred. No, let me tell people, at the end of the day, the Bible says in Romans 12:17, do not repay evil with evil. Whenever people are against you and you also wish them evil, their evil desires will come upon you. But as long as you pray good prayers for them, I'm telling you, it does not matter how they curse, because God's, like the Bible says, you cannot curse someone God has blessed. Tosobola kukolimira Katonda gwawadde mukisa. Their curses will always go back to them. Because it is the Bible that says in Proverbs 26, I think it is verse 1, an undeserved curse has no access, but it goes back to the sender. Omuntu akolimira nga tomuyinaako buzibu ekikolimo kiba kiddawo yakeera bikolima. It is why I'm telling we live in a world where people wake up and say bad prayers for others. I'm telling you, those prayers will return to them. Because if your heart is clean before God and you are clean before them, those prayers will not come to pass. It is why I'm here sharing people who battle mental illness. Forgiveness is a weapon that will save you hospital bills. Forgiveness and completely releasing people who have hurt you, who have wounded you, will save you hospital bills. You know, because at the end of the day, people have a right to their opinions as people who battle mental illness. So many people are going through this in the world, in communities. No, it is why I gave this book a title, Sweet 38 Years and a Proud Butabika Case. You know, because at the end of the day, we live in a world that makes us feel low, but people have their stress, they have their problems, but they make you the topic of discussion in the world. You know, and it is why I'm encouraging someone who has battled mental illness, who is battling mental illness. At the end of the day, allow this world to mock you, allow this world to talk, to stigmatize you, but forgive people. And I'm telling you, forgiveness is not just something we talk about. It is something spiritual, where you take off time to fast and you're only fasting to forgive people, to release anger, to release bitterness, to release unforgiveness. No, I'm telling you, whatever they call mental illness, obulalu, is anger people hardly know how to control. You know? And the world will fight you through anger issues you don't know how to control. In fact, there is something I tell people. Like, first of all, bebalwana, it is why I'm telling someone this morning, be encouraged. You are not defined by labels. You are defined by grace. At the end of the day, allow this world to talk. I'm telling you, this book is going to help so many people in the world. Sweet 38 Years and a Proud Butabika Case. Because at the end of the day, we all have a label. This world has, widowed, divorced, and you have allowed that thing of there's something I tell people. Something you talk about has no power and control over you. It is why I'm so proud even to share I am a proud Butabika case. Because however you call it cannot hurt me, because I freely share it. You know, an enemy, I don't know, that like there's a saying that an enemy talked about is an enemy exposed. It is like I tell someone, you have gone through, because here in Africa, divorce is something seen like shame. Talk about it freely. I'm telling, even if it would not have any power over you, because it is out there. You know, it is why I encourage people, do not allow those labels keep you in stress. People have a right to their opinions. You cannot refuse. Abantu, they have a right tosobola bigana. You know, but you have a right to living a happy life. You have a right to living peaceful. You have a right not to allow people's words derail you, because God has the final say. You know, there's something I tell people, we all have things we are going through. So when you allow to exalt your problems, you're only exalting demons. It is why I'm talking to someone this morning through this book. I'm telling you, learn to love and believe in yourself. A Butabika label does not make you less. A Butabika label does not make you a loser in life. A Butabika label is not the end of your story. Because whatever they call Butabika, God can use it to make you be a blessing in this world, to make you help others. It is why I'm encouraging someone in this video. Be still and know that He's God. At the end of the day, Omuganda agamba atayagala kwogerwako yasigala mu lubuto lwa nnyina. That one who does not want to be talked about, they remained in their mother's womb. But as long as you are in the world, people will talk. And it is why I tell people I'm a very proud Butabika case, because Butabika case is what has made me who I am. It is the reason I love myself. It is the reason I believe in myself. It is the reason of all the confidence in my life. It is the reason I wake up every day to work and I'm not a burden to anyone. I'm not a burden because I know how to work. God has given me a brain. It is the reason I help so many people. I'll pay people's school fees. I'll look after people's children because I have learned. Let the world call me a Butabika case, but I have a purpose in this world I have to accomplish. I don't have to allow a label put me down. I don't have to allow a label put me low. No, I'm telling you, and these labels are really it is our own people that talk about them. You find people who call themselves your friends are the ones gossiping about you. No, I'm telling someone, allow forgiveness be your shield. Forgive and love people. Say good prayers for them. At the end of the day, you have never chosen to be a Butabika case. There is something I tell people. Ate kino nkyogera mu Luganda. Omuntu yenna ng'ozadde omwana wo. Nga naawe oliko eŋŋanda zo. Lekera okufuula omulala emboozi. Nga naawe ozadde ababo ng'ojja kufuna n'abazzukulu. Baana bayinza okufuuka ba Butabika case. There is something I tell people. As you are pointing the finger, know you are also human. We are living at a time where there is a lot of stress that is bringing so many mental health disorders. Many people are breaking down mentally because of stress. And you are the reason of slandering someone as a Butabika case. Be very careful because you are also very human. You have children, you have a family, you yourself, you're human. Everyone can become a Butabika case. It is why I tell people, as you point the fingers, just know you're also human. No, there's something I tell people. Things like HIV came. But people who get HIV at times have allowed to live a reckless life. They know what they are doing is bad, but they're doing it. But if I got a mental health disorder and I have not taken any drugs, and it just comes out of the blue and you are making me public shame, I tell people, be very careful because we are all susceptible to mental illness. As you make people topics of discussion, just know you are also human. You have children, you have loved ones, you have a family. It can also happen to you. No, we live in a world, or we live in a country like Uganda. You will find even politicians. No, even a whole president can be on up these Butabika cases. I'm telling you, who cannot go to Butabika? You find parliamentarians, Butabika case. Do you know how you make people feel who go to that place for treatment? Because you think you are making fun? No, I'm telling people, be very careful. Each of us can become a Butabika case. And people can go through depression and become Butabika cases. So as you point the finger, know that you are human. No, I use very different, because these things I share them out of practical life. I have seen these things happen to people. Because you are pointing fingers, but you do not know you can also become a Butabika case. Someone can just tell you, emotoke kubidde wali omwana wo. Notabuka omutwe n'ogweddayo n'otandika okweyambula. So there are things, if you know you are human, stop making people shame. Stop gossiping about people when you know you can also become a Butabika case. This ongoing stress, you're just saying people running mad, and you think it just comes out of the blue. Be very careful. Fenna tufiirwa, buli omu asobola Butabika case. No, I like sharing these things out of practical examples. I have done very many international contracts, but I have been terminated on grounds of being a Butabika patient. And I have seen, I'll use very practical examples. I remember there was an HRI in some organization I won't mention. I found this HRI in Butabika, and they have been admitted because they got to know 4 of their children out of a DNA test were not his. And this guy ran mad because of stress. There was some lecturer I found in Makerere. I get this manic attack, and this person makes me the source of gossip on social media. This person lost his wife, and he went through depression. He's also now a Butabika case. You know, there are people I have seen in my home area who used to make me a Butabika case. This lady lost her husband, and she also one time got into that state of being a Butabika case. You know, there was some time I was working in some international school I won't mention. This HR calls me and tells me we are terminating your contract because you have been to Butabika. I'm telling you, after a month, this lady lost her husband and she went through depression and she would never work again, and she went back to the UK. So what am I telling you? As you point fingers, just know we are all human. Because we can all become Butabika cases. There is someone who made me a Butabika case, you know, and this person, no, this was a married man. This person loses his mother and he goes to Zambia. The guy undressed before his children. So what am I telling you? Be very careful as you stigmatize and make people Butabika cases. If you know you are human, stop making people the source of gossip, the source of slander when you're also human. Because each of us can go through mental illness. You know, we are a people that are disrespected. We are not given dignity in society, in offices, in communities, because the world has given us a label of mental illness, of bipolar, of bulalu. But let me tell someone, as you point the finger, just know this ongoing stress, anyone can run mad. You know? So I am here in this book. I'm encouraging people. Stop stigmatizing people when you're also human. Stop making people the source of gossip when you can also run mad. Because you also have your problems, you have your issues. You know? Stop stealing people's peace of mind and happiness when you are also human. Because we are only human. You know? No one has woken up and wanted to be a Butabika case or have a mental health disorder. And the reason you should stop making people public shame. It is why, as I finish this video, let me remind someone, you are not defined by labels, but by grace. Because God has the final say over your life. People's words should not derail you or put you down. Because Jehovah has the final say. Thank you very much for listening to me, and God bless you. Have a beautiful week. Veronica Mirembe Benediction.